In the courtroom, she looked sleepy, barely paying attention to what was happening. She slouched in her chair, eyes half closed, and sometimes stared at the camera like it was a movie being filmed. Then she smiled, a strange, playful smile, as if she didn't care about the terrible crime she had committed. The parents of the 3-year-old sat nearby, crying and begging the judge to make sure she could never hurt anyone again. She acted like she didn't understand what had happened, as if it wasn't real. Her lawyers said she was sick and didn't know what she was doing. But the store cameras would soon show the truth. Every step, every move, every moment was planned.
Ellis is facing multiple charges, including murder, attempted murder, and felonious assault.
Have you received and read your indictment?
I don't know.
You don't know if you've received it?
She was found competent to stand trial after her defense team requested a mental health evaluation. This after her behavior in the courtroom raised questions about her ability to assist in her own defense.
June 3rd began like any other day in North Olmsted. Cars rolled in and out of a Giant Eagle grocery store. Parents checked lists. Children sat in carts, bored and restless. 3-year-old Julian Wood sat in the seat of a shopping cart, small hands resting on the handle, eyes wide at the world moving around him. His mother Margot pushed the cart toward the exit, thinking about nothing more than getting home. The parking lot waited outside, open, full of noise and movement. Nothing warned them. Nothing slowed them down. Shoppers passed by, doors slid open, carts bumped gently, and the morning kept moving forward, without fear. Earlier that same day, Bionca Ellis walked into a thrift store near the grocery. She was an adult woman with a long history of mental health struggles. Records showed many hospital stays. Unstable weeks had followed her for years. That morning she moved through the store quietly. She picked up 2 knives from the shelves and hid them. No alarms rang. No one stopped her. She walked out with the blades and headed next door. Cameras later showed her moving with purpose, not running, not shaking, just walking forward. She reached the grocery store area and stood there, watching people come and go, waiting for something, or someone. Margot Wood finished shopping and pushed Julian toward the exit. Julian was alive, alert, and curious. He had no idea he was being watched. Ellis saw them and followed. Step by step, aisle to door to sidewalk to parking lot. The space opened wide around them. Cars reversed. Engines hummed. Wind carried voices across the pavement. Julian stayed seated in the cart, higher than the ground, visible to everyone. Margot pushed forward, unaware that danger was only steps behind her, closing the distance without a sound.
Surveillance video shows Ellis walking into the grocery store with a knife in plain view.
It was very, very upsetting that someone would do that, to a child and their mother.
As Margot Wood swerved her grocery cart to avoid running into Bionca Ellis, Ellis turned around to follow Margot and Julian out of the store, the whole time swinging the knife by her side.
As a mother, I cannot even begin to fathom the sense of loss that this family is going through.
The attack came without warning. In the open parking lot, Ellis rushed forward and stabbed Julian while he sat in the cart. The knife struck fast and hard. Margot screamed and tried to pull her son free. As she reached for him, Ellis stabbed her too. Blood spread across the cart and onto Margot's arms. People nearby froze, then shouted. Someone ran. Someone else yelled for help. Julian cried out in pain and fear. His small body had no defense. The moment shattered the normal morning into chaos and fear, all in seconds. Margot held Julian and tried to protect him, while others rushed toward them. Emergency calls were made. Sirens began to sound in the distance. Julian was bleeding badly. Margot was injured, but focused only on her child. Paramedics arrived and worked fast. Julian and Margot were taken to a hospital nearby. Doctors fought to save him, but the wounds were too severe. Julian Wood died from his injuries. He was 3 years old. A child who had walked into a grocery store alive that morning did not walk out again. After the stabbing, Ellis walked away from the scene. she did not run. Police officers found her nearby, still holding the knife. Blood covered the blade. She did not resist arrest. Officers took her into custody without a struggle. The parking lot was sealed off. Shoppers stood in shock. Parents held their children tighter. Police cars filled the area where groceries had been loaded only minutes earlier. The scene became a crime site, and the quiet suburb was changed forever by what had just happened.
Survived.
I need a car to go help the kid. He's in the first couple aisles.
Where's your cuffs? Get cuffs? Who's got cuffs?
33-year-old Bionca Ellis was arrested on the edge of the parking lot where the stabbings happened. A long blade knife was found on the ground near where she was cuffed.
Did she say anything?
No, I didn't hear anything. I had my windows down. I didn't hear anything. All I heard was just screaming, and the lady grabbed her child up out the cart, and that's when it fell over, and they collapsed over here, and the lady just continued to walk off.
Police officers moved fast once the call came in. They pushed through traffic and blocked the lot. Yellow tape went up. Witnesses were separated and spoken to. Some people cried. Some could not speak at all. Parents searched for their own children, counting heads again and again. Officers trained to stay calm felt the weight of the moment. Many had children of their own. The image of a wounded toddler stayed with them as they worked. The grocery store closed its doors. A normal place became a place no one would forget.
The child was stabbed again in the back before Ellis walked away, calmly, the knife still in her hand. Police found her moments later at the edge of the parking lot. The knife was on the ground next to her. She said nothing.
Julian Wood was not just a name on a report. He was a little boy with energy and curiosity. He loved dinosaurs and loud laughs. He helped his older brother find words and confidence. He followed his parents everywhere and trusted them fully. On that day, he trusted the world around him too. His life was short, but it mattered. Every step he took mattered. Every smile he gave mattered. His absence was felt immediately by everyone who knew him and by many who never met him at all.
For the family of Julian Wood, they'll never get over the loss of their child.
She took everything from us. There's nothing that could ever replace my son.
Face. Then his mother Margot as she tried to fight her off.
Bionca Ellis had struggled for years before that day. People around her saw changes when she was unwell. Her life moved between brief stability and long periods of trouble. On June 3rd, those struggles crossed paths with a family that had nothing to do with her past. The meeting was random, sudden, and deadly, driven by a moment that could never be taken back. News spread quickly through North Olmsted. Parents hugged children. Schools talked with families. Flowers and toys appeared near the store. Green ribbons and small dinosaur figures lined sidewalks and signs. People who never met Julian spoke his name. Strangers donated money to help his family. Runners later filled the streets in his honor. The shock turned into shared grief. Ellis was taken to jail the same day. Detectives tried to ask questions. She said nothing. A lawyer stepped in. Investigators searched records and past reports. They found no long violent history. They found small cases, theft, trespass, short jail stays. They found hospital visits tied to mental illness. They found gaps, warnings missed, and systems that never held long enough. The city began to learn her name. The family learned the silence that follows loss. Ellis appeared in court soon after. She stood behind glass. Cameras waited. The room felt tight. Charges were read. Aggravated murder, murder, attempted murder, assault, theft. Each word landed heavy. Julian's name was spoken again and again. His age was repeated, 3 years old. The judge set the process in motion. The case moved forward. Outside, people gathered. Some cried, some prayed, some shouted. The town listened. Prosecutors spoke of a random attack. Defense lawyers spoke of illness. The judge ordered evaluations. Doctors entered the story. Reports followed. Ellis was moved for treatment. Months passed. Hearings were delayed. Each delay reopened the wound for the family. Each date on the calendar felt like another wait without air. When the trial finally began, the courtroom filled early. Rows stayed packed. Julian's parents sat close together. They held photos. They held hands. They held memories. The prosecution told the story step by step. Video showed Ellis taking knives from a store. Video showed her walking. Video showed her following. No one argued the facts. The fight was over her mind. Doctors testified. They spoke of schizophrenia. They spoke of medicine refused. They spoke of strange thoughts and hospital stays. The defense asked the jury to see illness, not evil. The prosecution asked the jury to see choice, not confusion. Witnesses returned to the parking lot in words. A mother told how she tried to save her son. A stranger told how he asked Ellis what she had done. The room stayed silent. After days of testimony, the jury left the room. Hours passed. Families waited. Cameras stayed on. When the jury returned, no one breathed. The verdict came fast. Guilty on all charges. The insanity defense failed. Julian's parents closed their eyes. Some people cried. Others stared straight ahead. Ellis showed little reaction. The judge thanked the jury. The date for sentencing was set. Another wait began. The sentencing morning felt heavier than the rest. People arrived early. The room filled again. This time, words would not argue facts. Words would speak pain. Judge John Russo took the bench. He looked out at the room. He spoke about justice. He said justice cannot undo tragedy. He said it can say the child mattered. The room listened. Julian's father stood first. His voice shook but did not break. He spoke about his son's laugh. He spoke about dinosaurs and courage. He spoke about a little boy who helped his older brother find words. He spoke about time that will never come. Every sentence carried love and loss. People wiped faces. Cameras lowered. Julian's mother stood next. She carried her pain into words. She told the court how she held her son as he died. She told them what she sees every day. She said mental illness does not excuse murder. She looked at Ellis and spoke without fear. Her voice stayed clear. The room felt small. A police detective spoke next. He said officers learn to build armor. He said this case broke through it. He said the death of a child stays with them forever. He spoke for those who ran toward danger. He spoke for a town changed in one afternoon. His words landed quiet and strong. Prosecutors asked for the maximum sentence. They said Ellis chose a weapon. They said she chose a victim who could not fight back. They said mercy belongs to God. They said courts give justice. The defense asked for less. They spoke of illness. They spoke of stability on medication. They asked for a chance at parole someday. Judge Russo spoke again. He acknowledged mental illness. He spoke about broken systems. He asked leaders to do better. He said families should not watch loved ones fall apart without help. Then he turned back to the case. He ordered the maximum sentence: life in prison without parole. All other sentences would run together. The words echoed: life without parole.
With respect to the 9 counts and the furthermore, this jury says that they duly find and impaneled as sworn jurors in this case do find the defendant, Bionca Ellis, guilty of all charges. Those guilty charges also carry with it the furthermore that she did commit the other charge as requested with a finding of all 12 of you. So
Ellis was given a chance to speak. The room leaned forward. She said she was sorry. She said she apologized. Her words were short. They did not change the room. Julian's mother spoke back. She said forgiveness was not possible. She said mercy was not given to her son. She said Ellis should never hurt anyone again. The judge ended the hearing.
And Miss Ellis would like to speak.
I just want to say I apologize. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Weeks later, Ellis filed an appeal. The request asked for records and review. It did not erase the verdict. It did not change the sentence. It kept the case alive on paper. The family was notified. The town heard again. The name returned to headlines. Life continued with a shadow. Julian's mother, Margot Wood, spoke openly in court, her voice trembling but firm. She said she watched her son take his first breath and then his last, in her arms, covered in blood. She described how his scream still echoes in her mind and how the terror in his eyes haunts her every day. She told the court the murder replays in her head constantly and explained how it has forever changed the way she cares for her other children. She said, with raw honesty, that she hated Ellis with every fiber of her being and that the loss of Julian had caused trauma not only to her, but to her surviving children. Jared Wood, Julian's father, spoke next. He shared the deep emptiness his family now feels without Julian, saying that if they wanted to be whole again, they would need to visit the cemetery. He remembered Julian's love of dinosaurs, his smile, and how he was growing into a caring older brother. He expressed the devastating loss of all the future moments they would never experience, the laughter, light, and love that Julian brought to their lives. Jared pleaded for accountability, asking the judge to ensure that the monster responsible would remain behind bars and never be free, so no other family would face such horror. Their words carried grief, love, and a demand for justice, leaving a mark on everyone in the courtroom. Julian's story did not end in the courtroom. Green ribbons still appear. Dinosaur toys still show up at events. A race was run in his name. Nearly 1,000 people showed up. Donations poured in. Strangers spoke his name like they knew him. His parents keep speaking too. They speak for safety. They speak for children. They speak because silence hurts more. Inside prison walls, Ellis will live out her days. Appeals may rise and fall. Doctors may write more reports. Judges may read more pages. None of it changes the afternoon in June. None of it gives back a child. If this story touched you, made you think, or moved you, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know how Julian's story affected you, and join the conversation. Don't forget to like this video to support the story being told, and subscribe, so you never miss updates on cases that matter. Every click, every comment, every share helps voices like Julian's continue to be heard. Stay with us, stay informed, and keep the memory alive.